Welcome back. It's Kovacs Report, and we have a big book this week. And I don't just mean the page count. Yes, Imperial #1 has landed, or rather exploded with a bang and not a whimper. It has arrived, it is here, and it is glorious. So, written by Jonathan Hickman, with joint art duties by Federico Vicentini and Iban Coello. This is Marvel's big event of the summer. Cosmic, galactic, brilliant. As you can tell, I already love it, and I'm going to go through it page by page. So if you haven't read the book already, give it a read, then come back and watch a video. Now, before you do that, hit the subscribe button. It makes a huge difference to the channel, you wouldn't believe. And of course, if you like the video, give it a little like at the end. I'd really appreciate that too. So enough of me rambling on. Let's dive straight into this. Now, first I want to talk about the art. Federico Vicentini and Iban Coello, they've been given a chapter each throughout the book, or various chapters each, and the art is stunning. They've outshone themselves. They've really showcased their talents in this. It is beautiful to behold. Such a great job. I absolutely love the art. And Jonathan Hickman has been no slouch either. He knows his stuff. He's done his homework, he's done his research, and he has sewn in so much Marvel history into this and a lot of current continuity into it that it just makes this book even better to behold. Now, if you're following the other books, then you'll get all the references. I've probably missed loads, but it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I think this is going to be the event of the summer for Marvel and hopefully bring back some loyalty to a lot of us Marvel fans that feel a little let down with some of the events that are currently running on. Anyway, let's jump into this one. So it starts with two mysterious beings. We don't know who they are. They're literally playing a game of like intergalactic chess. So they decide it's time to up the ante and take it off the board and into the galaxy. And they start that by murdering people. Unfortunately, one of those murdered people is Bruce Banner's son. Now, Bruce, Amadeus Cho, and Jennifer Walters, they've made the journey to a very familiar planet, Sakaar en Nevo, the Ball world, which we all know and love, which make Planet Hulk fans very happy, I'm sure, to discover what's going on. And what's going on is not good. The planet is falling into a bit of chaos. There's a vacuum of power. There are people fighting to take over the lead, and there's chaos everywhere. People are fighting. It's not good. Now, Hulk makes his presence very clear, and everyone knows the world breaker has returned. And a lot of people are happy about this because they believe that he can bring some more normality back to the planet. You know, it's a bit rudderless at the moment. So that's not going to be easy. There's a lot of factions behind the scenes that are also fighting to take power, as it always is in these situations. And the story doesn't get better for Hulk either. We find out his son has been actually poisoned, and there's two very specific, very untraceable, very clever poisons that work in tandem together. And you can get the nuances when you read the book, but essentially one kind of weakens the victim, the other one goes in for the kill, which is a clue, because they think, well, who can manufacture this? Who has the ability to do this? And who's administered the poison, more importantly? So they bury his son. And as he's deciding to leave the planet to find out what's going on, he asks Jennifer to stay behind and rule in his place, which also probably ties into the She-Hulk book that's about to come out in August, I think it is. So Planet She-Hulk. So that should be really interesting to see, actually. I do like the idea of that, so I'm definitely going to pick that book up. Anyway, back to this one. So his son's buried, and they have to go to this sort of space hub, right? So I'm going to read what this says. The Fulcrum City Station, the Galactic Hub. Primary construction of the Galactic Council's interstellar hub was completed 2 cycles ago. The project immediately progressed into a secondary phase 2 expansion, which is currently underway. When it first came online, the public stated purpose of the hub was to provide a central nexus for both intergalactic travel and trade between council territories. However, some believe the true reason for its existence is the formation of a centralized political power structure and an origin point for what is suspected to be a formalized union of the Galactic Council system. So this to me sounds like a parliament of galaxies. This is where everything's going to be ruled across the galaxy. So it's a very strategic place, and it's really super interesting. Here we're introduced to Star-Lord and his father, Jason, and they've also fallen prey to this series of murders, as we discover, right? So his half-sister has been poisoned too, and they've put her in stasis. Now, they don't have any cure for this, so basically she's in stasis, and if they can find a cure, hopefully they'll be able to get her out of stasis and save her life, but it's not looking promising. So Star-Lord's father says, listen, you need to recruit the right people and go find out what's going on here, right? So in the place of his half-sister, his daughter, he's taking command of that planet, and not everyone's happy about it either. So Hulk turns up and he wants to speak to the people that know what's going on. And while that's happening, Star-Lord tries to recruit Nova, one of the two remaining Novas. But Nova's not interested. He's just not interested, right? He's had his fair share of drama and he doesn't want to get involved, which is a shame because he's kind of like the sort of detective guy, the brains of the operation. That's Star-Lord would need to figure out what's going on. We further find out, like I say, that other important events have been happening. Now, everyone has been invited. And of course, the Wakandans have been invited too. Their planet, Wakanda Prime, is part of this coalition, this galaxy of planets and council members, but they have denied the opportunity to appear. Now, that's a bit of a problem because the rest of them, they need the vibranium to create these stargates. And without that vibranium, they can't do this. So this is very political for them. Without that material, they can't do it. And they can't afford the price that the Wakandans are asking for. So there's other little bits that are being sewn into this book, which are really, really interesting. Anyway, we could skip through a lot of these pages. You can read those. It further sort of explains what's going on with parts of the galaxy and part of the people and the guardsmen. But we're going to get to some important parts. So Jason decides to go to the sort of a parliament, the council meeting of everybody, and he doesn't mess around. There's no like, oh, we need to investigate and find out. He says, listen, we've discovered that these poisons have been made by two very specific, the usual suspects, of course, planets, races, and that, of course, is the Shi'ar and the Kree. Now, of course, they initially deny any involvement in it. However, what they do discover is that one of them did actually make it, but they didn't administer it. They gave it to someone else. They were tasked with making this poison because that's what they do. They make weapons, and it was passed on. Someone else has been administering it and killing these 4 or 5 leaders of the planets. So everyone's kicking off because you know what? It's usually those guys. But guess what? There's a curveball coming. While that's happening, an assassin is firing gravity bullets and is starting to take out people, really shooting them. Jason gets shot. So Star-Lord's a bit upset, and also the guy from the Shi'ar, the Kree, I forget which one, before he's about to sort of announce who they sold it to, he gets a headshot too. He's gone, blam, see you later. Now Hulk jumps up to try and find this shooter, and he discovers a Wakandan. Now this is the big curveball. Like, I did not expect this at all because I kind of shy away from a lot of the hype because I don't want to spoil the book when it comes. So he blows up this dome that this council meeting's been held in, and everyone gets sucked out and starts dying, and they try and rescue as many people as they can. And while that's happening, the Wakandan, or a person dressed as a Wakandan, escapes. So this leads to Star-Lord taking the ring and assuming power of the planet that they're running, and everyone is very, very angry. The accusers have turned up. People are throwing accusations across the table. It is not looking good. And then we sort of go back to these two chortling, chuckling individuals have started this mess as chess pieces get moved. So that's the general gist of it. I've probably missed a lot of nuance, but I didn't want this video to be half an hour. But essentially, the Wakandans are to blame. And as Hulk puts it in the last panel, it's time for war. I love this book. I love a lot of these characters, which I didn't have a love for before. I've never been a big fan of like the cosmic stuff, but now I'm super interested. It's making me want to go back and read all the stuff that's come before this. It's beautifully sewn together. Both art styles blend really, really well. Just everything about it is good. I think this is going to be another Jonathan Hickman hit. I think it's going to change some cool stuff in the Marvel U that makes a difference. You know, a lot of these events come along and they don't really make a difference, not for a long time. But this is good. And the only other thing to add is that Nova, after seeing all the destruction, decides to, of course, come on board with Star-Lord and help him figure out what's going on. So those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. I'd be really interested to find out what everyone else thought about this. But all in all, this is one of Marvel's best books in a long time, and I'm on board, even for the tie-ins, which I don't usually do. Imperial #1, 100% recommend. So until next time, read more comics, and we'll speak to you soon.